this. I support the NMS because this is an initiative by His Excellency the President. And Mr. Chair, I remember very vividly, just a couple of weeks ago, we were with the President in a function at Arboretum. And the President told me, support NMS. I cannot fight the President. Mr. Chair, I want to tell this House that I don't have any problems with NMS, but I want, pursuant to Article 96, as I've stated earlier, which empowers this House to protect the interests of the counties, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, we want this committee to oversee the process of harmonizing our relationship with NMS, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the NMS is doing a good job, but everybody who is supporting NMS is talking about Article 187 of the Constitution. They just talk about the first part of this Article 187, which mainly talks about the transfer of functions. That is, a government, any government can transfer functions to another level of government. But Mr. Chair, towards the end of this same article, and I want to repeat the Article 187 2B, it talks of the constitutional responsibility of the transferred functions. It rests with the county government as per Schedule 4 of the same Constitution. Mr. Chair, we are operating under a lot of blackmail because of this NMS, which has been declared as an illegal entity. But let me say this again, I want to repeat myself. I'm not here to outshine NMS. They're doing a very good job. And I want to repeat again that I'm supporting the President towards this initiative. I'm supporting the Major General body towards this initiative. But Mr. Chair, I want law to be followed. Because when we signed this deed of transfer of functions, Mr. Chair, a couple of months ago, we met well, myself and the President. Because I'm not in office, I don't have a deputy governor, and I remember I was summoned by the Joint Committee, the Legal Committee and the Devolution Committee. I expressed myself why I took time to appoint the Deputy Governor of Nairobi, because there was no legal framework. And just a couple of days ago, Mr. Chair, His Excellency the President accented to the County Government Amendment Act, a bill which is now law, that governors should appoint deputy governors within 14 days, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, going forward, I'm seeking for the indulgence of this committee and the Senate in general. Nairobi is the capital city of this great country of ours. And the reason why I'm supporting NMS, I'm not in office. I want the people who voted for me overwhelmingly, Mr. Chair, the people who voted for Jubilee, ODM overwhelmingly, to get good service, to get service, in terms of good services, in terms of service delivery, Mr. Chair. So I want my point to be quoted. I want to go on record, Mr. Chair. If we don't address these issues now, Mr. Chair, we are going to have a problem. On the issues, Mr. Chair, raised by Senator Ledama, on the funding of NMS, that is illegal, contrary to Section 5 of the Public Finance Management Act, Mr. Chair. Recently, Mr. Chair, I refused to assent to the Nairobi City County supplementary budget, whereby in any supplementary budget, Mr. Chair, in any county, the supplementary budget originates from the executive of that particular county. But Mr. Chair, the way we are operating in Nairobi City County, Mr. Chair, we are operating under a lot of blackmail. If we tell them, just follow the law, I'm ready to comply. I cannot fight the President. I cannot fight even that general. He's a military. I don't have those powers, Mr. Chair. But I tell them, let us follow the law. Let us follow the Constitution. You are being intimidated with impeachment motions. You are being intimidated that we are going to be thrown out of office. Mr. Chair, I'm here to support the President initiative. I want Nairobians to get a good service delivery. I'm there to support, and they're doing a very good job. but let us follow the law. For instance, Mr. Chair, let me give you a very good example. All the counties in Kenya have been allocated with their normal monthly allocations or disbursements, if I may put it, from the exchequer. But Nairobi, to date, we have not been given our allocation for the last 6 months, 4 months, if I may put it, around 4.6 billion, simply because we are being forced to disburse over 3.5 billion to NMS at they want to pay pending bills on our behalf, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, when I took over office, Nairobi, we had pending bills totaling to 64 billion. I am the first governor, Mr. Chair, to form a pending bills committee, Mr. Chair, whereby we managed to reduce our pending bills from 64 billion to 20 billion. But today somebody comes with hearsay allegations that we are only paying lawyers, we are not paying the small-scale traders or SMEs. Mr. Chair, I've come even with our statements that we are paying all SMEs, Mr. Chair, but these allegations which have been maybe brought by the Director General that they are seeking for a presidential directive that pending bills are taken to NMS, that one is not in the law, by the way, Mr. Chair. So I'm just seeking for the indulgence of this committee, and I've noted some of the problems we are facing, Mr. Chair, and I've said I'm raising this issue because we want this committee or the Senate to harmonize these working operations between us and NMS. And I want to repeat myself, Mr. Chair, I am not opposing NMS. I'm not opposing the President's directive. We just want law to be followed, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, if